Natalie Cole rose to fame and left her own unique imprint on music. As the daughter of the iconic singer, jazz pianist Nat King Cole, Natalie poised for musical greatness at an early age with classic jams like This Will Be Inseparable or Love and Unforgettable. The Los Angeles CA native won Grammy Awards, American Music Awards, and AACP Image Awards, and a plethora of other accolades. Throughout her career, she released a staggering 24 albums of memorable music, but despite the level of success she achieved, Natalie faced many dark moments in her life that she was brave enough to graciously share with the public through her autobiographical book. We have an incredible amount of respect for her for being able to do so. From marital problems and divorces to drug abuse and alcoholism, the beloved catching hell singer also confessed that she was no stranger to toxic and destructive behaviors. In her higher regarded memoir, Angel on My Shoulder, Natalie Cole opened up about prostitution in efforts to forever document the trials and tribulations she endured with the hopes that she would help someone else avoid the same pitfall. With the collaborative help of Digby Diehl managed to paint a picture of her life with the stroke of a pen. Although most people would be afraid to share details about their downfalls, Natalie decided to tell her story after battling withdrawal from heroin during a high point of her career. Natalie attempted to turn her life around, but when she relocated to New York, she met a man who lived only further complicated her life. His name was Ronnie, and he happened to be a pimp. Withdrawal from heroin, there is nothing like it. You throw up, you sleep, you sweat, you are delirious, you are cold, and some folks even start hallucinating. If you get through it without killing yourself or somebody else, it's not small miracle, she wrote. Soon afterwards, I moved to New York and met a guy named Ronnie who was a pimp and wanted to help me supplement my income. I was hired as the come-on girl who would pique the attention of potential Johns once I'd made contact that Ronnie had concluded the financial transaction. The real business would happen under the bridge without me. Her co-collaborator, Digby Diehl, also further discussed her work on the street on Harlem and why she stood on the street and waved at guys in car. Said Diehl she'd bring a guy to the car where other women would do the business. She advertised her body so that they could sell theirs. I gather it didn't go on for very long, but it was the lowest point of her life. In addition to prostitution, there many other business ventures Natalie was involved in. However, most of them weren't legal. She had gotten involved in fraudulent activity after she committed wire fraud to purchase drugs. Natalie and her first husband, Yancey, also attempted to sell drugs, but the seemingly lucrative venture went awry when the couple could not refrain from using the drugs themselves. Eventually, Marvin and I started freebasing coke. I set up my own little laboratory in our home. I got so good at it that I developed a reputation as a gourmet cocaine chef. I was called the Base Queen, Marvin, and I actually tried eating. We were awful at it. We would smoke up half the inventory before we ever got around to selling it. Natalie Cole is a great example of the unfortunate truth about many celebrities. Although they live life under a microscope with the world watching their every move, they aren't perfect people. They are simply perfectly flawed human beings who happen to be known by the masses. However, just like the rest of us perfectly flawed humans, celebs are still capable of and entitled to make mistakes. But it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. At the time of her death, Natalie Cole had been drug-free for more than 30